Good morning, students. How are you all? I hope you are all fine and safe at home. As you have seen last video about the matter and related to the terms, let us recall the concept we have learned in previous video. Class 6. First, what is matter? Anything you see around you is considered as a matter. Matter means that has mass and has weight. And next, this matter is made up of tiny particles. It's made up of tiny particles. As you have seen this chalk, can you see the small tiny particles if you remove from this chalk? So that is known as a matter. And next, you have seen about the element. What is an element? Yes, what is an element? What is an element? Element is a substance which cannot be subdivided into two or more simpler substances by any physical or chemical changes. And next, you have learned about what is an atom. What is an atom? Yes, it is the smallest unit of an element which may or may not have an independent existence but always takes part in a chemical reaction. And next, you have studied about the molecule. Can anyone? Do you know what I mean by a molecule? Molecule is the smallest unit of matter which can exist independently and retains all the physical and chemical properties of that matter. This molecule can either be made up of same type of atom or can be made up of different type of atom. Today we are going to learn about the characteristics of molecules. The characteristics of molecules are very small in size. Second one, molecules have spaces between them. Third characteristic, molecules are constantly moving. And the fourth one is molecules attract each other. Again, I will repeat. The characteristics of molecules are very small in size. Molecules have spaces between them. Molecules are constantly moving. Molecules attract each other. Now we'll explore these characteristics by doing some simple activities. For these activities, I'm going to use some simple things. I'm going to use some simple everyday things so that you can try it by yourself. I'm sure that by the end of this video, the concept is clear to you and you can remember all these four characteristics. Science is all about validating theories and doing experiment. Now let us do the first one. Let us learn about the first characteristics of molecules. Molecules are very small in size. Yes, really, the molecules are very small in size. It is very difficult for us to see with the naked eyes. And the size of this molecule is 10 to the power of minus 8 to 10 to the power of minus 10 meter. That is very difficult to see with our naked eyes. We can see this type of molecules only by using the microscope. So let us try with that activity to understand more clear about the characteristics of molecules are very small in size. The materials required for doing this activity is 3 glasses, water, food color. Here I am using the food color. So you can use the crystals of potassium permanganate. But it is not available with me. So I am using the food color to do this activity. So let us try to do this. Fill one glass with approximately 50 ml of water, and in the second glass approximately 40 ml of water, and in the third glass approximately 40 ml of water. Now take a food color, take a pinch of color and dissolve it in the water. Now take the spoon and stir it. Now can you see the color of the water? What's the color of the water here? It is light orange. Now from this obtained solution, take 10 ml of water and pour it in second glass. What do you observe in the second glass? The water, the clean water has changed into color. In the same way, whatever you have obtained the solution in the second glass, take 10 ml and pour it in the third glass. Now, in the third glass, even the water is clear. What happened to the water? It has changed to even the lighter color. This, what do you observe from these three glasses? Here the color is dark. Next, in the second glass, the color is lighter. And in the third glass, the color is even lighter. What do you observe from these three glasses? You have observed that molecules are very, very small in size. Even I am changing from water from one glass to the other glass, even then we are getting the colored water. So this proves that molecules are very small in size. Now, what is the size of the molecule? It is 10 to the power of minus 8 to 10 to the power of minus 10 mil characteristics. Molecules have spaces between them. As you have learned in grade 5, that is, in solid, molecules are closely packed. Can you arrange them? So this is the way the molecules are closely packed. So it is in solid. Now, when it is in liquid, our molecules packed, they are loosely packed. Molecules are loosely packed in liquid. And now coming to the gases, they are very loosely packed. This is the way you have learned in 5th class. Now, the space between the molecule is known as intermolecular space. The space between the molecules is known as intermolecular space or intermolecular distance. Again, I will repeat. The space between the molecules is known as intermolecular space or intermolecular distance. Now, to prove these molecules have spaces between them, let us do an activity. To do this activity, we require a glass of water, a spoon and sugar, a pinch of sugar and a marker. First, now take a glass of water and mark it. Mark the level of water of the glass. Now first, place the spoon without the sugar inside the water. Can you see what happens to the level of the water? The water has rise little bit, and if you are using the larger object, you can see more clearly the water will rise up. Now take a small crystals of sugar and place it in water and stir it well. What happens to the level of the water here? It has not risen up. Why? Why? Because the water contains spaces between them, and whatever the sugar we have placed inside that, it will occupy the space between the water molecules. That's the reason the water has not rise up. This proves that molecules have spaces between them. Even every day you are drinking milk. What your mother will do? Your mother will pour the milk in a glass and she will put some sugar and she will mix that milk with the sugar. Does the milk will rise up? Is it? No. How much milk your mother has poured, it will be same. So this activity proves that molecules have spaces between them. So when you see this one now, there is no rise in water, level of water. Why is it so? Can you guess? Can anyone? It's because the sugar cane break up into tiny particles when they are dissolved inside the water. These tiny particles go and occupy between the molecules of water. Thus, the level of water does not rise up. So, this activity proves that molecules have spaces between them. And let us move on to third characteristic of molecules. Molecules are constantly moving. That indicates that the particles are moving continuously on their own. They are moving on their own and you no need to set them to move in a particular direction. Let us do an activity for this. Now, take an instant stick, take a matchbox and light it. Now can you see the smoke spreading in all the directions? In this case, are you setting the direction of this smoke? No, absolutely no. We are not setting the direction of these particles, but it is moving in all the direction and within no time the complete room is spread with the smell of this instant stick. So let us do one more activity to understand these molecules are constantly moving. So take a glass of water and pinch of color. Here instead of color you can take ink also. Now I am taking the pinch of color. Now can you observe? Here I am not using any spoon to stir it. But can you see the color? It is moving in its own direction and settling down bottom of the glass. Now within a few seconds the complete water has become the color. So these two activities shows that molecules are constantly moving. In both these experiments, you can see the particles of different types are mixed up. Here, it is a smoke particle and the air particle. And in this experiment, orange color particles and water particles are mixed up. Now, what is the process of mixing up particles of different types is known as? Can anyone? It is known as a diffusion. This proves that molecules are constantly moving. Now, let's move on to the fourth characteristic. Molecules attract each other. I repeat, molecules attract each other. We will prove this by doing simple activities. Now, I have taken the metal spoon. Can you break this one? Will you try? We cannot. Now, take this word. Can you break this word? Yes, anyone? So, you are not able to break this metal spoon and the wood. Why? Why we cannot break this? Any guesses? Because The molecules present in this spoon and the wood are closely packed and they have a strong intermolecular force. So what do you mean by intermolecular force? What do you mean by intermolecular force? Already we have seen about intermolecular space. That means the space between the molecules is called intermolecular space. Now, can you tell me what do you mean by intermolecular force? The force between the molecules is known as intermolecular force. So the force in this spoon and the wood is very strong. So now let us take a chalk. Can you break the chalk? Yes, we can break the chalk easily. Whatever the intermolecular force in this chalk, it is weaker than this metal spoon. So this proves that molecules attract each other. This is the reason we have different substances have different forces. Now we have done with 4 characteristics of molecules. Let us recall once again. The first one is molecules are very small in size. So what is the size of the molecule? 10 to the power of minus 8 to 10 to the power of minus 10 meter. And next, can we see the molecules with our naked eye? No. We can see only with microscope. The second characteristic we have seen is molecules have spaces between them. So we have learned one term in this second characteristic. What is that term? Intermolecular space. So what is intermolecular space? The space between 2 molecules is known as a intermolecular space. So the intermolecular space in solid is less compared to liquid and gas. The third characteristic is molecules are constantly moving. So what do you mean by molecules are constantly moving? So it indicates that the particles move on their own in different directions. The fourth one, molecules attract each other. So here some substance can attract strongly compared to the other substance. Just now we have seen in activity, when you take a metal spoon and a wood, the intermolecular force is stronger in these 2 objects when we are comparing with the chalk. So what you have learned in this 4th characteristic? Intermolecular force. So what is the intermolecular force? The force between 2 molecules is known as a intermolecular force. So you have listened till now to the characteristics of molecules. So I am going to give you some assignment. Question 1. Smell of food spreads from the kitchen. Name the process responsible for this. Again, I will repeat. Smell of food spreads from the kitchen. Name the process responsible for this. So the second question is, dissolving salt in water does not increase the level of water. Why? You can do the experiment and you can check whether the level of water will increase or not and give the reason. Define intermolecular force and intermolecular space. Again, I'll repeat. Define intermolecular force and intermolecular space. The last one is state the characteristics of molecules. Try to do this assignment. Thank you.